Started. I want to thank everybody for showing up for today's dissertation power hour. This one is about benchmarks and milestones, and we're trying to show you what you can use as a guide that you yourself make in order to minimize the amount of time that you spend writing your dissertation. So I've always been a big believer that a good outline cuts the work by 3/4, right? So spend a lot of time on your outline and then stick to your outline. Okay, so a lot of this stuff is repeat stuff, but I'm just going to go over it again because the number one complaint that I hear from Alliant graduate students is that they didn't even know this stuff existed. Okay, so again, tell everybody you know about these resources. Practically everything that any student would need is in here somewhere. Okay, here we go. Dissertation, benchmarks, and milestones. Magic wand time. I deal with a lot of students on their dissertation, and usually the first thing to get started is I ask them this. If you had a magic wand, what would you like to prove or disprove? Okay, that's how you focus what you're trying to get done there. And if I had a magic wand, I would say, somebody, maybe me if I get the time, to invent a dissertation app that you could use on your phone. And the way I see it, it would look something like this, with a cool picture, and with 4 different links, right? The process on how to write a dissertation, how to do research for your dissertation, because you're going to do a lot of reading. Where would you find support for your dissertation? And of course, our not international review board, institutional review board. So they're the ones that are going to check to make sure that you will be putting together a dissertation to their specific guidelines. Okay, so they're there to help you. Sometimes it's kind of hard and you might get angry, but again, they're there to help you. So what this video is going to try to do is provide timely and appropriate supportive benchmarks, milestones, feedback, and guidance to dissertation students, and ensuring adequate student progress through their program. So I personally have worked with students who have been here for 8 or 9 or 10 years, even 10 years. That to me is way too long. Once you finish your coursework, you should jump right in with both feet into your dissertation. In fact, you should be probably halfway done, because a lot of these courses, these classes, are addressing part of your dissertation process. Okay, so we want to promote a graduate culture of scholarship, which I think we do a good job. So now let's get started with the basics. Do you want a 4-chapter dissertation or a 5-chapter dissertation? Talk that over with your chair. Different programs, they have preset dissertations. And again, just go online somewhere, talk to your chair, talk to one of your professors. They'll know. So the 4-chapter, it kind of looks like this. Chapter 1 is Introduction and Literature Review, all in the same chapter. And chapter 2 is your methodologies. That's where you talk about what you're going to do, how you're going to measure it, which test you're going to use, etc., etc. Chapter 3 are the results of those tests. And chapter 4 are your conclusions and your discussions. Now, the second option is 5 chapters. So those are the only 2 I've seen here at Alliant. It's either a 4-chapter or a 5-chapter. The difference is not phenomenal. All it is you put your first chapter's introduction, right? What are you writing about? You keep that separate. And then chapter 2 is your literature review. What has everybody else written about what you're writing about? And then everything else is the same, right? So time is money, especially when you're a graduate student. Say that again. Time is money. You have to pay to stay a student here, even if you don't finish your dissertation. That's all well and good, but unless you're made out of money, you need to motivate yourself. Time is money. That is my clock, and that is my money. Not really. But again, the faster, the better. Make sure it's accurate. Don't whip through it through the speed of light. Make sure everything is to your liking. So I get a lot of compliments on this, little graphic. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my. But I changed bears to dissertations, right? And there's these guys, hi guys, Wizard of Oz. And there's this poor student who has passed out. Good sign. I mean, she's working hard. Okay, tasks and objectives. I'm going to try to not tuck your ears off about this because it does go on and on and on. And basically what I did was I shamelessly borrowed from another college, and there's hundreds of these out there. And I tried to format it as best I could to what I think Alliance students might be able to do, okay? And to get to that one, to get to this spreadsheet I'm about to show you, you would go back to this graphic. I'm going to show you here in a second. It's in their dissertation toolbox down at the very, very bottom. I believe it's in the one that's called Demystifying Dissertations. But again, I'll show you everything. So let's go to our tasks and objectives spreadsheet. Please hold. Bam. And you can, wait, I'm hoping you guys can see this. I'm pretty sure you can. And then you can download this, okay? So the dates, I just faked the dates, okay? I just made this stuff up, bam, bam, bam. But I put it by weekly, right? Weekly by semester, as you should, okay? And number one, introduction. Right off the bat, plan your schedule and give it a serious schedule, okay? No, nothing that you're not going to stay up to. This dissertation should be the best thing you've ever done, academically speaking, right? So, impress. That's what you're going to do. You're going to impress. But again, I personally believe that the best way to get through anything is through an outline. You got a good outline. The rest of it just fill in the spaces between your outline. So first of all, decide what you want to write about. You should be discussing that with somebody, teachers. You probably don't have a board yet. But students, teachers, they'll tell you if they like it or not. But again, this is your baby. So if you like it, nobody else does, fight the good fight. But to be honest, don't butt heads with your board members because they're the ones that got to stamp your approval, right? So bam. So start there. What do you want to write about? And be exact as possible, right? Be specific. And then you're going to make a study plan. And then you're going to set up a structure for your paper. So what that means is you're going to need, what's a better, let me pull up something real quick. Hold on. Let me show you what that structure for the paper is real quick. We have our one of our outstanding tutors give something with her dissertation not too long ago. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. And this one was put on by the amazing Emily Roberts-Parker. But right off the bat, she tells you, right off the bat, what you're going to need. Title page, copyright page, dedication in order, right? So use this format, right? There's your 1, 2, 3. She's got a 4 chapter. Oh, she got them both up here, 4 and 5 chapter model. Man, this girl is something. And then she has, that's the title page. Let me get down to one of the good pages over here. Table of contents. Right? Start here, right? This is a good place to line up for your outline. What are you going to write about? And again, this is getting off sidetrack here, but this PowerPoint you're looking at now will be up online here as soon as I can get to the chance. This is the one we gave last week. I haven't a chance to edit it or put the material up there, but it's getting up there soon. So This is a great example. I think I'm going to just put this under, this is a great example, please look here. And, right, she goes into such detail. She's got a ton of examples. Okay. And her main thing for this one was APA formatting. But again, use her examples to get your thing going here. All right. Let's put that one down. Boom. Get back to our tasks and objectives. Ooh, oh, that was the spreadsheet. Sorry. There we go. And okay, so once you got the structure of your paper, here's the beautiful thing about that. If you got a good outline, a good structure, you can jump around. You can work on a literature review. You can jump ahead to your methodologies. You can, if you think you know what the data is going to say, you can even jump to your conclusions at the end, right? Just jump around. If you get bored in one thing, switch around. Very important, find a chair, a good comfy chair, something that reclines. Just seeing who's paying attention out there. No, but find a chair that shares your passion for what you're writing about, right? And the chair is going to be your number one guide. So usually if you have any questions, you go to your chair first. And then find supporting board members that you think would be a good fit with what you're writing about. You should probably automatically be joining a dissertation support system. I think every program down here has little dissertation groups, right? Cohorts. And talk. Communication is the key. So make sure that everybody on your board knows exactly where you're going, what you're writing about. And if they have anything to say, they should say it before you start on it, right? Again, that's why the outline is so important. Because if somebody on your board doesn't like it, they can just, check that line and say, you know what? Let's talk about this one right here before you have, spent 30 pages on it already. So talk to them beforehand. You need your research questions, your hypotheses. Make sure your board is okay with your hypotheses. You should practice your proposal defense, right? What are you going to write about? How are you going to measure it? What test are you going to run? Right? The big stuff. And defend yourself. Okay, before doing that, you got to know your APA, right? This is going to be an APA tornado. Everything has to be APA formatted. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not much good at APA. I'm the math guy. All right, but usually we tell people to write the introduction. The introduction is, what do you want to write about? What are you going to write a 250-page paper about, right? Be focused, be clear. What are you writing about? Make it easy to understand. And explain a lot, right? Be elaborative. Were all your ideas addressed, right? This is your baby. This should be the best thing you've ever done. So, again, impress us. And then finish your first introduction draft, submit it to your board, see what they say. And they're always going to say, change this, change that. They're minor, okay? If you didn't get any corrections, I would be concerned. But you're going to get a couple of recommended changes. Don't let that ruin your world. Everybody does. And then make the changes, resubmit. And once you get the nod from the board in the chair, boom, that's when you're ready to go. That's when you should be flying out of there. So the next thing we're talking about is literature review. And hold on. Why are you blinking? Never mind. Literature review. Okay, we're lucky. We got one of the best librarians and libraries in the entire state of California. His name is Scott. He is so nice, so friendly. He works with students individually. His staff here is incredible as well. They will walk you through how to do library searches, how to look through the library catalogs. Again, look through Alliant dissertations. Try to find a dissertation that you like and use that as a guideline, right? Use it as a formatting thing. Get good at all the databases. And then read until you pass out, like that girl in the picture. Okay. And then here's a good trick. When you're reading, and if you see something you like, copy it down, copy and paste it into like a Microsoft Word document. And if you're not familiar with citations yet, with APA citing yet, just write the wherever you found it, the name of the text of the journal article or the online, the name of it, where to find it, all the important stuff, publisher, what page number, and then keep that on a separate sheet of paper. And then when you're getting close to the end and you have all the meat into your dissertation, you go back and you fix all the citations later once you become an APA master. Okay, so that's a good trick. When you're reading, cut and paste what you like onto a separate piece of paper and just put down where you can find it, because you're going to have to cite it. So, and then code your literature, right? Whatever you like. The first part, let's say it's about, I don't know, job satisfaction or something. Bam, bam, bam. So you code your job satisfaction with AAA. The second one is, marriage satisfaction. So that would be BBB. So when you look at your codes, when you look at your quotes, all you got to do is look at the codes and see, which quote goes to which idea. It's a very cool one. And try to be relevant. Okay, try to be relevant. Something that makes sense to you might not make sense to the rest of us. And look for claims and conclusions that you can back up with data. Right? We like claims that have data behind them, and same with conclusions. And make sure your terms are defined clearly. Not everybody is a psych major or a business major or an education major or a leadership major, right? Transactional, transformational. I have no idea what that means. So you just make sure that the reader does. And see if there's any holes in the literature, right? Is there something that you have been reading about that you feel is missing, that nobody has actually addressed in these giant ideas that you're writing about, right? Are there any holes, any gaps missing in the literature that you're reading about? So just look around. And this is very important. You should have some kind of disagreement with somebody in there. Okay? We're human beings. Don't believe everything you read right off the bat. You should have some kind of disagreement with somebody somewhere. And if you do, address it. Put it in your dissertation. The readers are going to want to see that. Okay? Don't be a automatic. Oh, what everybody writes must be, the best thing in the world. That's not the true thing. Hold on a second. I got a cough. Sorry, I'm just getting over the flu. All right. So finish the review, submit the review, make the changes. Again, you're going to get changes. Resubmit. Methodology. This is my favorite part. Bam, bam, bam. Now, again, I should have told you this in the beginning. This is quantitative dissertations, right? Again, I'm the number guy. So quantitative that means you're going to use empirical proof, which means you're going to use numbers to back up whatever you're trying to prove. That's all it means. So you should have taken a class or two about how to set up your research design. Normally, you're going to have a survey somewhere, and you're going to have people take a survey, or you're going to use archival data. Somebody's already taken a survey. You're going to use that data. And then you got to figure out what you're going to do statistics-wise. And again, don't be afraid of statistics. Everything that you're going to do in statistics, I got about 10 videos on how to do it by hand, how to do it in Excel, how to do it in SPSS, how to write up the SPSS answers in APA formatting, everything. I got it all covered. It's in one of the Hawks. It's either Hawk 2 or Hawk 3. Hawk 2 is t-tests, ANOVAs. Hawk 3 are correlations and regressions. And I'm going to show you those at the end of this video. Okay. And if you get stuck, like you're not sure which test to use, you're not sure what your sample size should be, stuff like that, find a tutor somewhere. Now I can do all this stuff, but the problem is I am overbooked. My main job here is to get people through their stats courses. So we have 100 people taking stats any semester down here in San Diego, and I cannot work with dissertation students, so I just don't have the time. Occasionally I can, if I do have a few minutes, I will. But, when I got 300 dissertation students all asking me for advice. I'm just one guy, and I don't mean to complain. So I should probably shut up and keep moving. Okay, here we go. So write out the introduction on what you're going to do. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? What are your variables? How are you going to measure your variables? And then what kind of test you're going to use. And ethical, that is through the IRB. They will tell you if you're breaking anything ethical. And, write out the outline of your research methods so anybody could follow it, right? So like a ninth grader could understand what you're doing, right? It's not rocket science. You're looking for something. What are you looking for, and how are you measuring it, and which test you're going to run? And so again, make sure you got the right statistical tests for each of your hypotheses, and then justify why you use that test. And again, if you get stuck there, you might need what we call a statistical decision tree, which we got on the Hawk 2s and 3s. And your board should be your big best friend. The people on your board, the professors on your board and your chair, they should be your cheerleaders / assistants / guidance counselors, that kind of stuff. Learn Qualtrics. Well, I even got a video on that here. I'm going to show you that here shortly. Oh my gosh, I'm kind of rambling here, and I apologize. Power analysis. I got a video on how to do power analysis. Write your consent form. Again, that has to be spot on. It has to be bulletproof, or the IRB guys will reject it. And the IRB, I only know one student out of about 700 that did not get an IRB rejection. Hers was perfect the first time, but usually the second time, it's minimum fixes that take you about, half an hour. And then resubmit until you get their blessing. And save all your data tables and graphs for appendices. Some people use them, some people don't. Ask your chair if she wants them in there, he wants them in there. Take it to your board, make the changes, etc., etc. So what you're doing is, at the end of each chapter, you're turning it into your committee, and they read it, right? They say, I like this part, I don't like this part. So results. Just write out your results, right? Was there significant differences between the means? Was there significant relationships between the variables, et cetera, et cetera? And make sure you address all your assumptions. That's what I find in all these other published research things, that they don't address the assumptions. If you don't address the assumptions, the reader cannot be sure that you ran the right test, whether it's valid, whether it's reliable, again, because the data has to fit the assumptions, or you can't run these tests. So address your assumptions for each test. And little sidebar is, the more difficult the test, the more assumptions you're going to have. And I'll be honest with you, it takes about 3 times as much time to run the assumption checks as it does to run the real test. And then write up the results in APA formatting. And again, we have examples on that on all our Hawks. Or Google it, just type in Google, how do I write up the results of a correlation in APA formatting? I guarantee you'll get about 300 examples. And in your conclusion, what did you find out? What did you not find out, right? What were your limitations? Always mention that you always should, you wish you had a bigger sample size, because the bigger sample size, the more accurate the outcome, right? The more trustworthy the statistics. And what would you have changed? Don't ramble. I see so many people that just go on and on and on and on and on. Yeah. Okay, so just back up what you did, and put down what you found, what you didn't found. How would you apply this to the rest of the world to make it a better place, et cetera, et cetera. Resubmit to the board. Once you get their blessing, it's time for you to go in there and put on your karate clothes and do your dissertation defense. Dun, dun, dun. So, and then practice your defense till you know it. And don't read the PowerPoint, okay? We all hate that. When somebody just sits there and reads the PowerPoint word for word. Don't do that. And be confident, right? This is your baby. Nobody else's. This is your baby. You worked on it for a long time. You should be proud of what you do and be confident, okay? Don't let these guys push you around. They're going to try to throw you questions. I know a teacher who throws out questions just to try to shake the students up. And she likes to make sure that these guys are convinced of what they wrote. And I kind of like that, right? Be confident in what you did. You should be, right? And get to the place early, bring donuts, orange juice, dress nice. And when the board members suggest a change, you make sure you thank them for their brilliant idea, whether it's a brilliant idea or not. Just make the changes, okay? Because you're so close to being finished, it's not funny. And then make any suggested changes. Congratulations, get published. You deserve a vacation. Go ahead, go down to the Bahamas or something for a weekend, and now go get a job. Okay, that's what this is all about. So use this. Put anything you want in here. It is meant to be an outline for you, the student. And if you're a teacher watching this, print it out, or just don't even print it out. Put it on your Moodle somewhere and have your students use this. All right. So that was the meat of this, but I'm going to show you some other stuff. Hold on. I'm going to show you some. Where am I? From current slide. Thank you. So again, I'm rambling. I don't mean to, but I'm going to show you what we already have online. Please hold. All right, from the Alliant front page, once you log into My Alliant, let me see if I can. Hold on a second. Let me get this up here. From this page, you go to My Alliant. And I'm already logged in. Make sure you log in. But once you logged in, you go down here to the bottom to the quick links. Now let's get back to this guy. So the quick links are these guys. Right? So we're right here, academic support and tutoring. Academic support and tutoring. So once you click that link, it takes you to our home page. This is us. Oh, hold on, get back in there. This is us. This is the tutoring center. So we have a lot of stuff here. We have all the tutoring rules. You don't have to read. You don't have to read those because unless you're in San Diego. And okay, you don't have to read that. But Brain Fuse. So I have an online SPSS that shows you that if you don't have SPSS, you can use the online version. And then I have a statistics dictionary that has every statistical word known to man. There are a couple missing, I apologize, but most of them are there. So after that's the front page. That's how you get to all the support stuff, all of it. Here's the link to that. Number one request I get, statistics, statistics, statistics. So this is what I've designed over the last 10 years. Hawk 1 is basic statistics. So if you're taking a class for advanced statistics, we strongly suggest you learn your basic statistics again, because if you don't know what a z-score is or a p-value, you ain't going to go very far in the advanced statistics. Again, for the basic statistics, go to Hawk 1. Hawk 2 has all your t-tests, your novas, your ANCOVAs, your MANOVAs. Most of them they're all SPSS. Half of them are, I believe, you can do it in Excel, Microsoft Excel. In fact, a lot of them are done by hand because we still have a few teachers that show you guys how to do this by hand. No comment. And then Hawk 3 is all your advanced stuff. Correlations, regressions, factor analysis, logistic regression, structural equation modeling, and again, SPSS video tutorials, how to write up the results, how to check all the assumptions in the data, et cetera, et cetera. Hawk 4 is if you're taking comp exams. I had all my student tutors, use their resources. So if you got to take a comp exam, you might want to check out Hawk 4. And Hawk 5 is the dissertation boot camp where we're putting all these videos, and I'm going to show you that real quick. Request number 2, writing, writing, writing. Unfortunately, I get 2 or 3, 4 times a week on average. People send me their dissertations and they say, could you please read this over? And I say no. And then they say, can you can you send this to a tutor that can read it over and edit it for me? And I say, no, we're not an editing service, and it kind of makes me mad that you expect us to sit here and read a 200-page paper. Okay, we don't do that. That's you, but we can get you a professional that you could pay for if you want to. Paid editing services. I'm assuming that your teachers are okay with that. Ask if they are. I have a long list of good tutors or good editors, and you can pay for it, and that's outside of the Alliance tutoring service. So again, don't ask us to edit your work. But here's the dissertation toolbox. Let's go there. So to get there, you go to Dissertation Toolbox. When you just go to Moodle, get out of there, boom. When you go to your Moodle front page, you simply, if you're not a member already of the Hawks, and they're self-enrolling, just go to the very bottom. You see that little tiny search box. You type in Hawk. Go. And in all the Moodles that we have for Hawk, and that stands for Higher Achievement, Wisdom, and Knowledge, they're all right there. They just show up. Again, they're self-enrolling. And this is becoming our main one now. Dissertation Toolbox. Tell your friends. But it's got everything that we've done here. Look at all these writing resources. How to write a proposal. How to avoid plagiarism. How to write an introduction. And basics of APA formatting. And we got 10 of them there. And they're all really right to the point. Outstanding examples, APA formatting to the nth power, and we got videos of people talking and narrating, and then we have the PowerPoints used in the videos, and how to format a dissertation. I took these right off the Alliant website, and a couple from, like this guy, University of Texas. I thought that was a great, nice, clear, easy to follow. I believe it's a 5-chapter, University of Texas. Go Texas. Quantitative means numbers, and that's the statistics part. So, I list everything what's in the Hawks, 1, 2, 3. Got some decision trees for you, but I'll be honest with you, they are not easy to understand unless you know your statistics. You got to basically be a statistics master to read the decision tree, okay? But there's a lot of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I believe. And here's how to use an SPSS online version 23 for Alliance students. Just follow the directions. And there's a methodologies video. You want to find out what it's about? Watch it. And then there's a PowerPoint that goes with the video. How to do a G-Power. G-Power is an a priori power analysis that determines a minimum sample size for each of your statistical analyses. Got it? There's some EFA. Oh, yeah. Tells you if your survey is a reliable survey or not. Research. We got the amazing Scott Zimmer, our librarian de famous. I don't think that's a real word. Okay, but he's the man, and he does a couple of them up there. Shows you how to go through every step, how to find every book ever written about whatever you're writing about. Qualitative. Okay, not my cup of tea, but I have a lot of faith in it now because I met 2 people that really impressed the heck out of me, Dr. Marianne Miller and Dr. Alba Nino. They showed me, I made these videos for them, and after I made them, I went, wow, these were amazing. Because I always thought quantitative was the only way to go. But that's not the case. Hold on to cough. The qualitative was fascinating. I mean, they each taught me about what they call saturation, right? If you're going to interview 20 people, and by the time you hit the 7th person, you start getting the same answers, that means you found your answers, right? And they also mentioned important things. Not everything can be measured with numbers. And I never thought about it before, but they're right. There's a lot of things you cannot measure with numbers. So, and again, qualitative, you want the tips on the qualitative, you watch these 2 videos, okay? Qualtrics. Alliance students get a free Qualtrics account. Got it? So here's a video on how to get that account. There's the links to get that account. There's Qualtrics link. And here's some basics on how to get it started. Qualtrics is a lot like Microsoft Word. It does get a little bit more challenging, the more things you want to put in there. But again, I put a couple of them, like how do you put an exclusion page for survey takers that do not qualify. Like you have to be over 18. If you're not, boom, it kicks them out politely. Okay. And I got a ton of Excel videos. Excel does a lot. It does almost as much as SPSS does. With that said, it doesn't automatically check the assumptions for you, which SPSS does. So if you're running a lot of sophisticated tests, Excel is not the way to go. But on the other hand, Excel puts out real pretty graphs. The graphs are much more eye candy than SPSS, right? You can choose the colors, you can choose the patterns. So I really like the charts and graphs that Excel puts out. And we even have a practice IRB board here. It's been changed a little bit since we made it back last year, but check it out for what it's worth. IRB, muy complicado. And ABD, that's what we call all but dissertation students. This is for you. A good dissertation is a done dissertation. So get it finished. So again, this is our main dissertation support Moodle. It's called the Hawk 5 Dissertation Toolbox Moodle. Another cough. Remind me to edit those out. All right, back to our thingy. And I'm kind of over on time. I apologize. So again, research support through the library. We got videos on the dissertation toolbox, writing support, dissertation toolbox, APA formatting, dissertation toolbox, advanced statistics support. Those are going to be your hawks, okay? Remember, a good dissertation is a finished dissertation. I didn't say that, but I like that. Paid editors, I have a long list of writing editors. I have no idea what they charge, but I do not get complaints. And there is one stats person on there. So we only have one stats editor, and I'm not even sure she's still available. I believe she graduated, and now she's running some huge psychology hospital back east somewhere. So, but again, statistical editors are hard to come by. So anybody with any questions or any comments? Okay, I want to thank you all again for showing up, and I'm going to call it, boom, this is over. So you guys have a great one, and get that dissertation done. Okay, that's it.